We got you. I know you're like, what? We got you to click. My editor and I's master plan, yes, editor, you're implicated, master plan to get you to click on this video. And we got you. And not only that, we're gonna drag you into it, yeah? Much like a pyramid scheme of click-through rate, you're gonna help me decide on my next clickbaity title. Because daddy needs to pay a mortgage now. And if I don't, they're gonna come for me. The banks. Did I go in over my head? Who knows? You'll find out if I end up on the front page of a newspaper fighting banks off. Okay? But just legally speaking, I'm joking. Okay, so anyway, thank you for joining. I am going to be doing some ASMR today to hopefully help you unwind and relax, and maybe, if I'm lucky, entertain you. When I started off being a content creator, I always wanted to be funny, entertaining, charismatic. And then I found out I sounded better than my wit. See, look, that didn't make any sense. What I was trying to say was my voice was of a caliber that was high enough to succeed in this industry, but my wit was not sharp enough to be the thing I rely on my own, and therefore I'm now doing ASMR and saying good kid for a living. And you know, that's okay. You don't always end up where you want to. But it's kind of funny in saying that. It's kind of like Inception, because I'm trying to be funny in this scenario where I have ended up reliant on my voice. Just ponder that for a second. Okay, that's long enough. So, it's just you and I and the algorithm duking it out, and your attention span, which, according to TikTok, has been cooked. But listen, that's okay. You're here to relax. And gosh darn it, we're gonna do it. So, I would like you to know that if we take a pause out, break immersion, it's just me in my bedroom by myself, talking to a camera, hoping that you're as entertained as I am. And the thing is I am making myself laugh genuinely. And that's hilarious, because 100 years ago, this would mean that I've had a psychotic break. But now it means I'm trying desperately to pay my mortgage. And look, isn't that what life's all about? Bouncing between delusion and trying to afford rent. Anyway, we've cooked up an excited ASMR, my editor and I have. You want to see how I got these sounds? Well, impulse purchases online. So this is my first little guy. And the thing is I don't even know if he sounds all that good. It's a he. His name is William. I don't know if William sounds all that good. But he's not a business write-off unless I properly put him in a video. So I need you to stare at William. Okay, stare. Look deep into William's eyes. Editor puts him like anime, like wow eyes on him, please. Look right here. Okay. Look into William's eyes and say, yes, Mr. Tax Guy, he did use this for content, and therefore a tax write-off. Thank you, William. You did amazing. But I'm gonna try to phrasing. I'm gonna try to get some good sounds out of William before we give up on him completely. So, some light hand movements. People who like handling objects. Little clicky clacks. Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Now, I was moving William earlier, and William doesn't like that because it's a little sharp, a little loud. I don't know. I don't know how much is good, because because again, like I said, I'm just trying to pay my mortgage. A little bit. I do like the little cave echo reverberation vocab words you get when you put your hands around it. So there's no hands. No hands around. Hands around. Yeah. Like a good dairy cow. We're getting some milk. I shouldn't say that. How am I going to get Helix Mattress to ever sponsor me? Like GB. If I make jokes about milk and cows. Please sponsor me. I want a new mattress for my new studio that I'm going to build when I can afford it. I'm sorry. See? Bad William. Can't believe William acted out like that in front of our company, in front of our production. Back to my strong suit, chatting, staring longfully into your camera lenses, eyes, and sometimes whispering. This seems to be my bread and butter. Some little bats. Some telling you, take a deep breath in. Wait, I already breathed in. Okay. Breathe fast and take a deep breath. And nailed it. I think we're going for more of a silly ASMR vibe here on the count of my sleep deprivation. I've realized that if I keep trying to move in rapidly, it means I'm basically running a business of getting this house together with all the people I'm calling. Which means I had to wake up at normal people hours, like noon, and I'll have you know that that is too early for me. And now you're asking yourself, Alex, how is noon possibly too early for someone? Well, you see, when you have chronic bad sleep schedule syndrome, like I do, what happens is you don't go to bed. I know. And then that means in high school you get like 3 hours of sleep, show up to math class and start dozing off all the time, and then start getting bad grades, and your dad says, you know, if you're lucky, like you'll become a pharmacist. Like that was the low end, and I'll have to help you out because obviously you won't be successful enough to be able to stand on your own. This is freshman year of high school, and I had gotten suspended. Anyway, it turned out great. I did great in college. Okay, and then I became the good kid. Alright, so what happened is, okay, so my brother, he was the good kid. He was the smart kid. And he, to be fair, is smart. Stubborn. Frustrating at times. But very smart. Wait, I gotta swallow. Editor, cut this out. Probably. So my brother, smart one, he does really well up until the end of high school. Me, I'm just the youngest brother. I'm just a little bro. I'm chilling. I'm desperate for friends. Will do anything for attention, you know, like now. And so I'm not doing so well in high school. I'm also probably have undiagnosed ADHD, OCD, and depression. It's okay. My parents just got divorced. Whoa, we're trauma dumping in an ASMR. That's cool. This is called innovation, okay? And this is gonna make me successful, right? Right, Mr. Editor? Right? He's gonna tell me we should cut this out, but I'm not gonna let him. This is content, baby. Alright, you gotta take the innermost parts of you and squeeze them until there's nothing left. And the juice, the mushed up remains of your soul, that's the content. That's the milk. This is not going to be relaxing. But to me, this is my true calling. I'm being a silly guy, but look, back to what we were talking about. I did not do well in high school. And I would stay up really late, gotta connect the threads, what was I saying? Really late. And I would watch shows like Warehouse 13 and Sanctuary because I liked sci-fi and cool stuff and magic. And so I would then go to math class and try to learn algebra while my brain sizzled like an egg on pavement in Arizona in the summer heat. So, not so good. So Daddy had to tell me that, it's my southern accent. Daddy, he told me that he didn't expect much from me. I'm sorry, Southern people. I'm in Georgia now, okay? I gotta try to assimilate. No one in Atlanta sounds like that. It's because we're all, like, coming from different places. This has mostly been tangential. Okay, ready? I'm gonna wrap it up. So I didn't do well in high school, but then I started watching TED Talks senior year, and I wanted to be someone cool. So I started working really hard, and I did well my last semester of high school, or however it's broken up. And then I went to college. Yes, I went to college. And I accidentally got a 4.0. And you're asking yourself, Alex, how do you accidentally get a 4.0? Well, you see, you get a few A's, and then you have a class which you didn't even know they did this, where if you get like an 89%, they round it up. And it's not A minus, it's just A. And so I got a 4.0, and then my dad, the guy who said, you're just going to be a farmer. By the way, he's very cool. It was just a moment. I was doing really bad in school. But I will say, isn't it ridiculous to be like, you'll only be a pharmacist? Like, it's an easy job. That's not an easy job. Why would you tell someone who you don't believe in, you'll just become a... What? What? Anyway, he does remember this, because he had a stroke. He's fine. It's just conveniently, he doesn't remember the times that he said some pretty messed up things to me. But now that I'm successful, relatively, I could use some vindication. Convenient, alright? Man goes out of his way to be overly stressed at work to have a stroke so he can forget the childhood trauma that he caused me. I'm just saying, some people have it easy. For legal reasons, that was a joke. I'm doing what's called humor. It's my dad, it's fine. So anyway, I did well in college. And I graduated with a 4.0. I had to keep it, because my dad was finally proud of me, and I was like, oh my God, the hole in my heart. He's proud of me. He was bragging about me to the people he's doing business with. That's pretty cool. So naturally, I would procrastinate everything because I still had undiagnosed ADHD. What do you expect? But the night before, a mighty fear and panic would crawl into my heart and say, Alex, you must keep the 4.0. And then I would frantically get as much work done as possible. And while my brain is broken in many ways, the OCD, ADHD, and former depression, childhood trauma, I was gifted with one that was at least capable of cramming a halfway decent paper in, and one 8-hour caffeine-fueled session. Sufficient enough to graduate at the end of my tenure at college with a 4.0, but caveats. I was cut some breaks here and there. A little bit of begging was done. It's like, hey, I might have missed the exam that was online. But, like, in my defense, I thought it was you could take it any time during the day. I didn't know it was a time slot because it's online. Like, why would it need to be a time slot? And they were like, well, you were really active in class and asked a lot of questions. I like to talk. I'm so sorry. So they just made up a new exam for me. And I'd be like, oh my God, I'm special. They love me. And then another time where I'm like, hey, like, your class is kind of doing the same material as this other class. And the other class is actually more in depth. But I'm doing better in that class, and like, you should help me with this exam because like, I should know this. If you're like, Alex, doesn't make any sense, it's because I don't remember it that well, okay? But anyway, I may have gotten a 4.0 asterisk. I begged a few times to make that happen, but I did well enough. But by the time I graduated, I was like, I'm not going to survive a PhD or master's because you can't, unfortunately, procrastinate years of research and graduate anytime soon. or succeed, because I knew myself as the procrastinating, lack of work ethic, undiagnosed ADHD person who occasionally is depressed. I was like, I'm not going to make it. So what I did, I started streaming. It's looping back. It's coming. It's coming. I started streaming. And I started staying up late, because the later I streamed, I would outlast every other streamer. And so people, who would they come and watch at 7 in the morning? This guy. And so my former bad sleep habit, remember, I chased dopamine at night, so I stayed too late. 3 hours of sleep, not doing well in math class. Comes back here. I now have an excuse to stream until noon, on the account of the Australians I made friends with, the Europeans who are waking up. And suddenly, you have this guy with a terrible sleep schedule who now has justification for staying up till any time, till noon. I would go to bed when the sun went up, and I would wake up when the sun was down at 9 p.m. I need 9 hours of sleep. I know, Alex, why do you need 9 hours of sleep? Okay, look it up. It's within the threshold of average. Okay, just because you get 2 hours of sleep and a pickle for breakfast doesn't mean I can function on that, all right? My brain, okay? This disease as it is, it's smart, okay? I'll say that about myself. And that uses lots of nutrients is my excuse. I need more EPs to recoup the nutrients so that I can come here and say funny things to you. Hi, that do good? Please applaud. Also, I just remembered, I was supposed to ask you did you know, chat, that 60% of you watching, or something around that, are currently unsubscribed? I have recently unsubscribed because this is not the calming ASMR that they were promised potentially in the clickbait title. Besides the point, my editor and I like doing this thing called eating. And to do that, well, it helps if you subscribe, because it signals to YouTube, hey, this man's content may be worth doing. So, like, could you subscribe? Did you know that financial YouTube accounts make like 5 times the money for ads? Because they're like business, and like the people who watch them. All I'm saying is, to get those delicious business RPMs, revenue per milli, you should save money sometimes. This is now financial advice. That's it. You should save money sometimes. I legally probably shouldn't give any other advice besides that. That's my financial advice. Please give me $17 per 1,000. Thank you. Anyway, as I was saying, editor and I need to live. If you subscribe, I promise to keep making ASMR. And some of it might actually be relaxing, unless guy who really wanted to be funny, took a stand-up comedy class, did a set, went okay, still has these delusions of grandeur that he'll somehow be more witty and clever than he currently is, and should really just understand his place as smooth, talky, cutesy boy, and just make the funny, silly noises that ASMRists do. And by that I mean I'll go hush, hush, or Isn't that relaxing? What if I did that for an hour straight? You'd like that over this, wouldn't you? Look me in the eyes. Look me in the camera lenses. You'd like that, wouldn't you? That's okay. You're allowed to like that, okay? Because that's how I'm going to be able to pay my mortgage and build the studio. So I'll do that. All right? This thing we're doing here, this is your penance. Okay? This is my relief. I'm not currently in therapy because my therapist is on maternity leave. That's good for her. I'm not saying we should get more of that in this country. Hashtag I'm a feminist. We should. We're one of the worst countries for that. When I said hashtag, it seemed like I was like diminishing the sincerity behind it. So I was like, let me double down. Our country's like worse. Like, look, I'm knowledge. I'm educated. I went to college. You can be educated without going to college. But I did take some classes. So anyway, we should have more maternity leave. And it's okay. I encourage my therapist to take it. Okay? I'm just saying I am becoming progressively more mentally ill. That's not necessarily true. She did say I could sign up with other people, but I was like, but I like you. What's a little break? You know, distance makes the therapy grow fonder. My editor's going to want to cut out some of this. This is a little much. Okay? She's like, Alex, they're going to ask, are you a feminist? And I'm like, of course I am. But you're smiling when you say that, doesn't it? Does it mean like you're not? I'm like, no. I'm just uncomfortable because I'm like grilling myself. Like I'm trying to get myself canceled. And I feel my heart racing, but I keep digging in. Do I like the thrill? Anyway, women would make better leaders. Men are irrational. Okay, so anyway. Anyway. These videos of me being a silly, goofy guy. All right, we're connecting. All right, this is you have to sit through these so that you can get to the gold mine of. I sound like a Minecraft character. I'll give you something good. All right, here's something good. Why do y'all like that? I don't know. Okay. But I was like, hey, I can do realistic cat noises, and people were like, bet? You can? Please make me famous. I need mortgage. Look, cat ears. Okay. Imagine a collar. Look, you can mime. Look at that. Like in subscribe. I don't think you'll be able to sleep to this. I really think this is a bit much. You know, I actually had like some things to show you. I only showed you William. I have like this. But we're already 20 minutes in, alright? I'm putting my time. You see this? That's the next video. Okay, I'm gonna play with some more fidget toys for my next video, I think. So you have to help me come up with that clickbaity ideas. How do we get them in? Okay. How do we get you in here? Does this count as ASMR? Look at me in the eyes. Look at me in the lenses. Is this ASMR? I don't even know anymore. Where am I? I'm in my bedroom. Anyway, please like and subscribe. I'm ending here. Like I'm 20 minutes in. 20 minutes in. I gotta go. I gotta go do nothing with my life. Alright, I have to go not be a pharmacist. Did you have fun though? I had fun. I did have fun. We skirted that edge of being too silly, you know? You say you need to be too silly. Your therapist needs that, you know what they do. But I think we're okay. Anyways. I don't sleep, that's it. I don't sleep. So I did a job. All the way, we're still on this track, baby. We zipped around. Pull it back. I did a job that encouraged me not to sleep. And so I did that. And then finally I stopped streaming as much, but I kept the sleep schedule. So now I wake up at 3 p.m. And for a while that was the earliest I woke up. And now I'm waking up regularly before that, like 10, 11, to meet contractors, because that's when they operate. And I'm so tired. And I keep trying to marathon to finish this house up. And I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe I don't marathon to finish this house up. Maybe I just stay in my apartment and slowly do that. Because at the end of the day, if I get behind on doing these videos, I can't pay the mortgage. So why am I finishing up a house just so the bank can take it away from me? So I'm going to take my time. I'm going to move up my timeline so I can get more of the stuff done I want to get done before I move in. It's got drainage issues. It had some roof issues. It's got issues. Like me, needs some tender love and care and subscribers. We both, the house, the me, the editor, we all need, we need you. This brings me back to why Helix Sleep Mattress, you should sponsor me. Because I need EEP. Okay? We're all so eepy. Alright, that's why we're watching ASMRs, because we're all so eepy, and I trick them into watching me. And I could trick's the wrong word, I could convince them to consider one of your great offers on one of your great products. Please sponsor me. I love you. I mean, clearly I have no shame, but I have enough shame to protect your brand, okay? On YouTube. Just here. Anywhere else, who knows? But we don't have to talk about that. I'm just a YouTuber, right, chat? Right, chat? Anyway, I'm gonna go now. I had fun though.